Hi, I'm Daniel Burke with the Larochelle organization, and I'm here in Manhattan, down near the United Nations, with a team of Larochelle organizers for the United Nations General Assembly. And what we're here talking to people about is the special initiative of the Schiller Institute of Helga Zepp-LaRouche for a commitment to ending the endless wars by initiating a period of peace through development, which means most urgently we need to unfreeze the assets, the Afghan assets that are frozen, perhaps $9.5 billion frozen at the U.S. Treasury, another $450 million frozen by the IMF. These need to be released such that the Afghan people can have access to their assets, and we need to actually bring in the emergency food aid, the emergency capabilities to defend life, as we have perhaps a third of the population which is really very close to starvation, and many who are only one further step away from it. But that kind of devotion to defending the potential, the right of every Afghan citizen, of every Afghan child to contribute to mankind, that kind of moral commitment, we think that if we don't revive it now, we may very well find ourselves in World War. That essentially the strategic crisis that we're in is a pre-war scenario with trust completely collapsing around the world between nations, as witnessed in this new Australia, UK, US submarine deal, so-called. But really the cause of that is the fact that we have accepted in statecraft across the world, if you can call it that, in governments across the world, and here at the United Nations, at the IPCC and otherwise, we've accepted a Malthusian outlook on man, a Malthusian policy of economy, which is not other than genocide, willful genocide. And I'll give you an example from this statement that we're giving out to diplomats, to international media. It was written specifically for today. United Nations World Food System Summit. Is global depopulation what's really on the menu? We cite the open expression of this Malthusian outlook in 1991 by Alexander King of the Club of Rome, who said, "The common enemy of humanity is man. In searching for a new enemy to unite us, we came up with the idea that pollution, the threat of global warming, water shortages, famine, and the like would fit the bill. All these dangers are caused by human intervention, and it is only through changed attitudes and behavior that they can be overcome. The real enemy, then, is humanity itself." And this satanic view of humanity is expressed in the policies of preventing nations from having food self-sufficiency, of failing to address the need for real physical economic development in Haiti, in Afghanistan, and in nations all across the world. Now's the time to change that. Now's the time to present the Larochelle Plan and have it heard across the world. The plan to bring the most advanced science and technology to every country, the most advanced platforms of energy flux dense infrastructure. We've been talking to people today about the first Afghan astronaut and what need be done to create that future. It means that right now we need to see the United States enter into dialogue with China, with Russia, with Pakistan about the future of Afghanistan, enter into dialogue with the Afghan government, and actually put on the table the common aims of mankind, which are, in the first place, the mutual physical economic development, the lifting of the living standards, the increases in the relative potential population density of economies across the world and of the human species itself, so that we can take our proper place as a galactic species, going out into the universe to understand the unknown ever more perfectly, ever less imperfectly. That's the kind of mission that humanity should be in. And yet today we're struggling under this perverse logic of geopolitics. It's time to change that. We're fighting for that here and across the world in a single international effort. We're calling on you to join us to put forward a program for economic development, for peace through economic development, that would actually uplift people's moral nature and give them a sense that, yes, it is possible to fight for the dignity of the human individual today, for the dignity, for the freedom to correct the errors of the past and not be doomed by the traditions, the failed axioms of the present. So with that, I'm going to sign off from here in Manhattan. And thank you for listening and thank you for watching. Please share this and share the statements that we are using, including the endorsement of Helga LaRouche's policy for the modern health infrastructure for Afghanistan, which was given by Dr. Jocelyn Elders, former U.S. Surgeon General, and Dr. David Satcher, former U.S. Surgeon General and former head of the CDC. These are very important steps made by public health officials to endorse this outlook that the common aims of mankind include economic development first, and that's the only way to reverse this evil of regime change, war, and geopolitics. Thank you very much.